All right, so we're back, and you guys have sent us a mountain of articles about what's happening in entertainment.
Oh, yeah.
Everything from those big award show wins to some pretty intense legal battles, and even a peek at what's hot in content these days.
You got it.
Get ready, because we're about to take you backstage.
That's right.
We've got trade publications, festival reports, the whole shebang, so buckle up because we are diving in.
I love it.
Okay, so let's kick things off with the awards shows.
Always a good place to start.
Always a good place to start, right? The Critics' Choice Awards and the Goya Awards just wrapped up, and some interesting wins for sure.
Absolutely.
Sean Baker's Anora snagged Best Picture at the Critics' Choice Awards, which is a pretty big deal.
Anora seems to be on a roll.
Yeah, it does.
Winning at the Critics' Choice Awards definitely adds to its momentum this award season.
For sure.
Makes you wonder what it says about the types of films that are getting attention right now.
Yeah, what do you think? It definitely seems like people are really into films that kind of push the boundaries, you know? Tell unique stories.
Right.
But then on the other side of the world, the Goyas had a tie for Best Picture, which is kind of crazy.
A tie.
Yeah. L47 and La Infiltrada both got the top prize.
A tie is always interesting.
It is.
Shows us there's a lot of exciting work coming out of the Spanish film industry, that's for sure.
Definitely.
I'm curious to see if either one of them kind of gains traction internationally.
Yeah, for sure.
We'll have to see.
And FX's Shōgun had a really great night at the Critics' Choice Awards.
Oh,
They won Best Drama Series.
wow.
Hiroyuki Sanada and Kathy Bates won acting awards.
Big night for them.
Huge night for them. Actually, I'm super curious to hear your take on Shōgun a little bit later.
Oh,
Especially with all the talk about, you know, historical accuracy and all that in dramas these days.
right.
But first, something that really caught my eye, both award shows, both of them, featured performances by Alejandro Sanz and Amaral.
Really?
What are the chances?
That is quite a coincidence. It makes you wonder if there was some kind of coordination behind the scenes to try to boost their visibility.
Totally.
I mean, you've got two major international events, right?
Yeah.
It wouldn't surprise me if it was a deliberate strategy.
It's a good strategy.
For sure.
All right, let's move on to the business side of things.
Okay.
Because things are definitely shaken up over there.
What's going on?
Amazon just dodged a pretty big legal bullet.
Oh, yeah.
A class action lawsuit about their ad-supported Prime Video tier was dismissed.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And, you know, this could have a real lasting impact on how we stream content going forward.
Totally.
The judge ultimately sided with Amazon.
Right.
And it all boiled down to transparency and consumer choice, which I think is really interesting.
Yeah.
Amazon made it clear that users had the option to choose ads.
Yeah.
And they offered ways to opt out.
Right.
So this decision actually sets a precedent for the future of ad-supported streaming.
Huge.
What do you think? How will this play out for other platforms?
Well, I think other platforms are definitely watching this case really closely, figuring out their own strategies, you know?
Right.
Not everyone's having such an easy time with the whole legal landscape, though.
No.
No. Paramount's proposed merger with Skydance Media, remember that?
Oh, yeah.
It's hitting some major roadblocks.
Like what?
Well, the Center for American Rights is involved.
Oh, wow.
And there's even a potential $10 billion lawsuit from Donald Trump looming.
$10 billion.
$10 billion.
Wow, these legal challenges really highlight the complexity of media consolidation.
Yeah.
And the intense scrutiny it faces.
For sure.
I mean, from both political and regulatory bodies. Depending on how this plays out, it could completely reshape the entire media landscape.
Absolutely.
Especially when you think about who controls content distribution.
Yeah, high stakes for sure.
High stakes.
Okay, now here's a trend that I think is super fascinating. The rise of the individual creator.
Oh, interesting.
Alon Strussman, he's a pretty big name in the industry. Well, he predicts that individual creators are actually going to be the real power players in entertainment.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And, you know, we're already starting to see that play out in a big way.
Where?
Look at MrBeast.
Yeah.
He's filming at that massive new soundstage facility.
Huge.
It's a clear sign that individual creators are building their own production empires.
That's crazy.
And these empires, they can rival traditional studios in terms of scale and reach.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
It is.
It's like we're watching the democratization of media production happen right before our eyes.
I know.
And remember all that buzz at NATP about creators changing the game?
Oh, yeah.
Well, what's driving this shift in terms of what people are looking for in content?
Well, buyers are laser focused on a few key things.
Like what?
Hyper-targeted audiences.
Okay.
Integrated brand partnerships. data-driven decisions, content with longevity, and they're calling it calculated innovation.
Calculated innovation. So hyper-targeted audiences, that means content made for very specific groups of people.
Right.
Brand partnerships, working with companies to reach those people.
Exactly.
And data-driven decisions, well, that means using all that viewer data to figure out what's working and what's not. But what about content longevity and calculated innovation? What do those mean?
Okay, well, content longevity refers to creating something that can be repurposed or expanded across different platforms. So think spin-offs, extended universes, things like that.
Got it.
And then calculated innovation. That basically means taking creative risks, but within a framework that's already proven successful. So it's all about finding a sweet spot between familiarity and novelty.
So you kind of know what's going to work, but you're still pushing the boundaries a bit.
Exactly.
Got it.
Basically, you need to know your audience inside and out. And then create content that resonates with them on a deep level.
So it's all about connection. This actually brings us to a really interesting case study.
Yeah.
The Pradeeps of Pittsburgh.
Oh, yeah. I heard about this.
It got canceled after only one season.
Really?
Even though it got really good reviews.
Wow, so surprising.
Yeah, it is surprising.
What do you think led to the cancellation with the good reviews and everything?
It's especially interesting because it happened right around the same time that Amazon decided to shut down Freevee.
Right.
So it really points to how competitive it is in the streaming world.
Yeah.
You know, even with critical acclaim, a show really needs to connect with a specific audience to survive.
That's true.
And with just so much content out there, viewers are becoming more discerning, you know.
Right.
They're actively looking for shows that align with their specific interests, their values, all of that.
Absolutely.
So even a good show isn't a guarantee anymore.
It's tough out there.
It really shows how important it is to understand audience trends and what people actually want to watch.
It's crucial.
Okay, let's lighten things up a bit and talk about some exciting projects that are in development.
Sounds good.
All right, first up, we've got Steven Soderbergh, the mastermind behind Ocean's 11 and so many other great films.
Okay.
He's working on a dark comedy called The Christophers.
Interesting.
And the cast, oh my goodness, it's incredible.
Who's in it?
Ian McKellen.
Wow.
Michaela Cole, James Corden.
Talk about star power.
I know, right? It's a dream team.
It is.
Soderbergh, he's known for his really sharp, stylish films. What kind of potential do you see in The Christophers?
Well, with a cast like that.
I know, it's incredible.
And with Soderbergh's track record. This film has the potential to be both incredibly funny and thought-provoking.
Okay.
It'll be really fascinating to see how he blends that dark humor with the compelling drama.
Yeah, totally.
It's going to be good.
All right, next up, we've got a brand new take on Robin Hood in the works.
Okay.
And it's going to be way darker than the classic tale.
Oh, wow.
We've got Hugh Jackman and Jodie Comer starring.
Oh, that's a good pair.
I know, right?
That'll be good.
And then rounding out the cast, we've got Bill Skarsgård, Murray Bartlett, and Noah Jupe.
That's a really interesting cast.
I know, right? A darker Robin Hood?
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
I think it's a really intriguing concept.
Yeah.
You know, it kind of speaks to what's happening culturally right now.
Yeah.
All those anxieties that we're facing.
Right.
It'll be interesting to see how they explore themes of social justice and inequality in a new way.
It'll be interesting to see what they do with it.
For sure.
And then Ridley Scott's production designer.
Oh, wow.
He's pitching a gangster film set in New York City during the Art Deco era.
The Art Deco era, wow.
Can you imagine the visuals?
Oh, the possibilities.
I know, right? Scott, he's a master at creating atmosphere.
He is.
And that era, it's so visually rich.
I know. Think about the elegance of Art Deco architecture.
Right.
Contrasted with the gritty underworld of gangsters.
Oh, yeah, that's cool.
Visually stunning.
Yeah.
And it could offer a really fascinating blend of historical glamour and dark crime drama.
Oh, for sure.
It's going to be good.
A feast for the eyes.
Definitely.
And we can't forget Natalie Portman. She's starring in a Lena Dunham-directed rom-com about modern relationships.
Now, this is a pairing I didn't see coming.
Me neither.
But I'm excited about it.
Yeah.
Dunham's voice is known for its frankness and humor.
Right.
And Portman is such a talented actress.
Oh, yeah.
They could really bring a fresh perspective to the whole rom-com genre.
Totally.
And explore the complexities of modern love in a way that feels both relatable and insightful.
Yeah, I'm into it.
Me too.
Remember how we were talking about Shōgun sweeping the Critics' Choice Awards?
Yeah.
Well, guess what? Season 2 is officially filming.
That's fantastic news.
I know.
The first season was visually stunning.
It was.
I'm really curious to see where they take the story next.
Yeah.
Especially with all this conversation around historical accuracy these days.
Which actually brings me to something that Kevin Costner said recently.
Okay.
About his new Western epic Horizon, an American saga.
I've heard about this.
He talked about the really important roles that women played in the American West.
That's a really important point to make.
It is.
You know, it's crucial that these historical dramas move beyond male-dominated narratives.
Right.
And give a more balanced and accurate portrayal of women's contributions.
Totally.
It seems like Shōgun is already doing that.
Yeah.
By featuring strong female characters who play these really vital roles in the story.
Definitely a welcome shift in perspective.
For sure.
Okay, but now let's talk about something that's been causing a bit of a stir in the acting world.
Like?
Some are calling it the 4-second rule.
What's that?
There's been a lot of talk about casting directors evaluating those self-hits in just seconds.
Oh, wow, really?
Yeah, super quick.
I can see why actors are concerned about that.
Yeah.
Imagine pouring your heart and soul into a performance.
Right.
Only to have it judged in the blink of an eye.
It kind of reduces all that hard work and talent to just a fleeting first impression.
Yeah.
But veteran casting director Risa Bramon Garcia, she offered some advice.
Oh, good.
For actors. She said it's so important to be present and alive in the story right from the very beginning of the tape.
That's great advice.
Yeah.
You know, it highlights that even in a fast-paced industry,
yeah,
where first impressions matter so much,
yeah,
the core of acting, it remains the same.
Yeah.
It's all about connecting with that story,
Right.
bringing the character to life authentically.
So even if you only have a few seconds to grab their attention,
right?
You really got to make those seconds count.
Yeah.
Makes you wonder, if casting decisions are being made so quickly,
yeah,
does that impact the representation that we see on screen?
Interesting point.
Especially in those historical dramas where accuracy is so important.
That's a really insightful question.
Yeah, it makes you think.
It does. If we're prioritizing snap judgments over these more thoughtful evaluations,
yeah.
Are we limiting the diversity of voices and perspectives that we see in our entertainment?
That's something to consider, for sure.
Definitely.
Okay, now let's go to a territory that's both fascinating and a little bit unnerving.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
The world of artificial intelligence.
AI.
Can AI really replicate those iconic voices we all know and love?
Interesting question.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Like the characters on The Simpsons, for example.
That's a question that's sparking a lot of debate right now.
It is.
Some people believe that AI will eventually be able to perfectly mimic any voice.
Right.
While others argue that it'll never be able to capture the true essence of a human performance.
Right. It's interesting. Hank Azaria, he voices a bunch of those beloved Simpsons characters.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Well, he made a really good point. He said it's not just about the voice. It's about capturing the character's soul.
Right.
Their fears, their motivations, their humanness.
Yeah, and that's really the heart of the matter.
It is.
AI, it might be able to mimic the sound of a voice. But can it really understand all those emotional depths?
Right.
All those complexities that make a character feel real?
Well, it's a big question.
Yeah, it is. And it leads to even bigger questions about the future of performance.
Totally.
As AI technology rapidly advances,
yeah,
we need to consider both its potential and its limitations.
Yeah.
Especially in creative fields.
Yeah, what do you think about that?
Well,
can AI really replicate that spark of human ingenuity?
Right.
And the depth of human emotion?
That's what makes a performance captivating.
Exactly.
Tough question.
It is, and it's one that we're going to keep exploring as AI becomes more and more integrated into the entertainment world.
For sure.
All right, so we've covered a lot so far. Award shows, major industry shakeups, the rise of the individual creator, what buyers are looking for in content, exciting new projects, all that.
And we've delved into some really thought-provoking questions about representation, the role of technology in creative fields, the evolution of the viewing experience. It's been great.
It has, but we're just getting started.
We are.
We've got a lot more to unpack, so stay tuned for part 2 of this deep dive.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah.
You know, it's fascinating how the industry is kind of grappling with this tension between what's familiar and what's new.
Yeah, it's like audiences want that comfort of familiar stories and characters, but they also want to be surprised,
Right.
Challenged a bit.
Totally.
What's your take on how the industry is dealing with this?
Well, one thing's for sure.
What's that?
The streaming wars, as we knew them,
yeah,
they're over.
Wow, really?
Yeah, the focus has shifted.
From what to what?
From just getting subscribers to actually making money.
Right.
Creating content that brings in revenue.
So it's not just about like throwing stuff out there and seeing what works.
Exactly.
Got it.
We're seeing a move toward these more strategic partnerships.
Okay.
A focus on quality over quantity.
Right.
And a deeper understanding of what audiences actually want.
So more calculated risks, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of like that calculated innovation we were talking about.
Exactly.
It sounds like the streaming landscape is maturing.
It is.
Yeah.
Platforms are realizing they need to be smarter.
Yeah.
More thoughtful about the content they put out there.
Right.
And the content they buy.
Okay.
It's not a game of who has the most shows anymore.
Right.
It's about who offers the best experience for their viewers.
The most engaging experience.
Right.
This reminds me of something I read that was really interesting.
Oh, yeah.
It talked about the power of set design.
Oh, interesting.
Especially in television.
Okay.
It might seem basic, but it plays such a huge role in storytelling.
Absolutely.
Right.
Set design is often underestimated.
It is.
But it's crucial to visual storytelling.
Totally.
Think about it.
Okay.
A well-designed set, it can transport viewers to another world.
Right.
It can evoke specific emotions.
Yeah.
It can even subtly reveal parts of a character's personality.
It's like the set becomes the character itself.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Take Shōgun, for example.
Okay.
The set design was so important for immersing viewers in that world.
Right, 17th century Japan.
Exactly.
Or even in a show like The Christophers.
Oh, yeah.
Remember we talked about that?
Mm-hmm.
Imagine how they could use the set design to reflect those themes of authenticity and deception.
Right, because it's about art forgery.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's interesting.
It's all about creating those layers of meaning.
It is.
And enhancing the viewer's experience.
It's amazing how much thought goes into every little detail.
It really is.
Speaking of details,
yeah,
there were a couple of industry developments I wanted to mention.
Oh, what's going on?
The Jim Henson Company.
Okay.
They just signed a deal with their president of television, Hallie Stanford.
Stanford, that name rings a bell.
She's been behind some of their biggest hits lately.
Oh, really? Like what?
The new Fraggle Rock.
Oh, cool.
And the Dark Crystal series.
Oh, yeah.
It's a smart move for them.
Yeah, how come?
It guarantees they have access to her creative vision.
Yeah.
For future projects.
She's like their star player.
Pretty much.
It sounds like they're really locking down that top talent.
Yeah.
To keep those innovative projects coming.
They are.
What else did you see?
Well, a film called Fiume o Morte.
Fiume o Morte.
Yeah, just won the Tiger Award at the Rotterdam Film Festival.
Wow, that's a pretty big deal.
Yeah, it's a prestigious honor.
Fiume o Morte.
Yeah.
What's that one about?
It's a comedy docudrama.
A comedy docudrama.
I know, it's interesting, right?
It is.
It's a film that's willing to push boundaries.
Okay.
Challenge our expectations.
Yeah.
Blending humor with historical insight.
Right.
The fact that it won such a prestigious award.
Yeah.
It really says something about its originality.
Totally.
And impact.
It sounds like a movie worth checking out.
It is. It reminds us that the world of film is constantly evolving.
It is.
Finding new ways to tell stories.
New and innovative ways.
Right.
Okay, so we've talked about award show trends, the changes happening in streaming, the power of visual storytelling, even the potential of AI.
Yeah.
What's the overarching theme you're seeing here?
I think the biggest takeaway is that the entertainment industry is transforming.
Yeah.
It's in a state of dynamic transformation.
For sure.
All this technology, changing audience expectations, the rise of the individual creator.
Yeah.
It's all shaping how we consume and experience content.
And it's not just about passively watching anymore, is it?
No.
It's about engagement, interaction, finding content that really speaks to you.
Absolutely.
Your values, all of that.
Right.
This shift, it presents both challenges and opportunity.
It does.
For everyone involved.
For sure.
From huge studios to those independent creators, actors to casting directors, writers to those AI developers.
It really does.
It's exciting, but also a bit daunting.
Yeah.
How do we navigate this whole new world?
I think the key is to be curious, adaptable, and willing to experiment. We need to understand the power of all that data, all those analytics, but also stay true to the core of storytelling. Yeah. Human connection.
That's the important part.
And maybe most importantly, we need to remember that the entertainment industry, it's not a one-way street anymore.
It's not.
It's a conversation.
Right.
A collaboration between creators and audiences.
Like we're all shaping the future of entertainment together.
Exactly.
That's pretty cool.
And that's what makes it such a fascinating time to be a part of this world.
Yeah.
It's ever evolving.
Okay, so we're wrapping up this deep dive into the entertainment world. I want to leave you with one final thought-provoking question. With individual creators gaining so much power, what do you think the future holds for big studios and traditional media? Could we see a complete power shift in the years to come?
That's the million-dollar question. It's hard to say for sure, but the entertainment landscape is definitely undergoing a major shift.
Yeah, and it raises some really interesting questions.
Right,
well, like, will big studios adapt to this new reality, or will they become obsolete?
Well, some studios are already starting to embrace the change.
Oh, yeah. How?
Well, they're partnering with individual creators and investing in new platforms and technologies.
Makes sense.
Yeah, they're recognizing that the old ways of doing things might not work anymore.
Right, they got to evolve to stay in the game.
Exactly.
But what about more traditional media, like television and film, even radio?
Right.
How are they being impacted by all of this?
They're definitely feeling the pressure. The lines between traditional media and digital media are getting blurrier and blurrier, and audiences are consuming content in completely new ways.
Yeah, it's all over the place.
Right. And it's fragmented. So traditional media outlets need to find new ways to keep their audiences engaged and stay ahead of the curve.
So it's not just about making great content anymore.
No, it's about reaching the right audience at the right time on the right platform.
And that's got to be tough.
It is. It requires a deep understanding of audience behavior, data analytics, all these emerging technologies.
It's a whole new ballgame.
It is. It's a challenging landscape, but it's also full of possibilities.
I wonder if we'll even be talking about traditional media versus digital media in the future.
Yeah, who knows?
Maybe it'll just all be media.
I think you're right. The lines are already so blurred that it might not even matter anymore.
Right, it's all coming together.
Exactly. We're moving towards a more integrated and interconnected media landscape.
It's this massive convergence of entertainment, technology, culture, all of it. Yeah. And with AI, virtual reality, all these emerging technologies coming out, who knows what the future holds?
It's exciting and mind-boggling at the same time.
Totally.
But one thing's for sure, the entertainment industry is going to keep evolving.
Right.
And it's going to keep surprising us.
And that's what makes it fun.
Exactly.
All right, well, we've covered a lot of ground today.
We have.
From the glamour of award shows to those complex legal battles and the rise of these individual creators, we explored the power of visual storytelling, the changes in streaming, and the potential of AI.
It's been quite a journey.
It really has.
We even got into some of the philosophical questions.
We did.
About creativity and the role of entertainment in our lives.
Big questions.
It's been great.
But the conversation doesn't end here.
It doesn't. We encourage you to keep exploring and keep those questions coming.
Keep those deep dive requests coming.
Exactly.
Until next time, stay curious and keep those entertainment minds engaged.